Welcome to all the classic car enthusiasts. This is a friend of mine's bonnet. He has he's just rebuilt this Renault 4, and he just finished it. He got it all done, got it on the road, painted and everything. And then a deer, we have a lot of wild deer around here in Steiermark, and a deer ran across the road and he hit the front of the bonnet and the wing of the car. And I have to say, these Renault parts, or the metal in them, is extremely thin, really thin. Much worse than a Mini or anything like that. Minis actually seem pretty strong in comparison to this. I'm not actually sure, I didn't actually measure it, but it's extremely thin to work with. Anyway, what I did was I used the dent puller that I was using on the Mini, and I've pulled it out for him. So I've done the metal work and I've lead loaded it. It'll need a skimmer filler now, but I don't want to do that here because this is why I'm making another garage to do all the metal work and filler and so on, because it gets so dusty and dirty and I don't want to start making the mess. So I've pulled the dent out. It was quite badly creased. I'll just bring in and show you the if I can get it to work. There you go. You can see here that this was really badly creased in here, all along here. So I've pulled it all out and I've lead loaded it, so it's flat enough now for him to put a skimmer filler on there and do the rest of the work off it. Unfortunately, the wing, which is here, I'll pull it back out again so you can see it. You can see it there. Unfortunately, it's a bit creased here. I'm going to try and put there's a bit of a crease here, so I'm going to try and put the slide hammer on it and try and pull this out because it's difficult to get from the back. But it's so thin, it really seems quite thin to me. And there was a bad dent in there. I put that through the English wheel very loosely just to try and get this out because it was badly creased along here and here. But this is the kind of thing, I mean, this wing, brand new, I think is £76, and to be honest, the amount of work you would put into that, it really isn't worth it. Now, you know, I know money's tight for people and so on and so forth, but really, for something like this, you can't, you certainly couldn't get it done in a professional garage or wherever, and even to do this at home, the amount of hours and time you would put into it would be better used somewhere else. As I say, for £76, it just isn't worth doing the repairs. But I've got it as flat as I possibly can for him, and he's going to have to work it if he doesn't want to buy new. But you've got to look at that from a. I'll just pull you back out again so you can see it. So you can see. So as I say, you've got to look at things like that. I mean, I'm not teaching anybody to suck eggs here, but if it's not economically viable to repair something, in the old days people would put filler on and they spent more in filler than what it would cost to replace the panel, or at least part of the panel, because they didn't have the equipment. And I understand that if you don't have the stuff, there are many ways to skin a cat, I know, but sometimes you're better off just biting the bullet and even if you don't paint it, at least put a panel on and just prime it, until you've got some extra money to do it. But this is not economically viable to do, but I said I'd try my best with it, so I have. And the front of the bonnet's looking a lot better. It was really badly stoved in here. It was very badly creased. Anyway, so just to let you see what we're going on. So today, this friend of mine's coming to pick this up, and he's bringing over this machine that I bought from him. It's an old distributor tester, and it's probably not that old. It's probably from maybe the 60s. Possibly even the 70s, I don't know, but I think it's mainly 60s, and I just like old auto memorabilia, so I'm going to set it up with an old Jaguar distributor so you can see it running and everything, and it's more of automotive, as I said, memorabilia rather than it being of use to me, but I just like that kind of stuff, like the guillotine that's sitting here. It's just something that I like. So welcome back. I've managed to get some. I went down to the local scrapyard, got some steel plate and got it cut to approximately the right size. I've welded it on, I've put the castors on it, so now it moves around really quite easy. It's a very heavy piece of equipment. This top is very top heavy, and I had a few problems working on my own, but I got it sorted out eventually. What I've realised is that it's got terminals in there to connect to a battery. So I think not only is this for the distributor, so you put the distributor in here, you attach the body, and you can check the dwell and all the angles and check all the different things on the distributor, make sure it's running well. Vacuum, it's got a vacuum pump here, and so on and so forth. What you can do then is you can put the distributor cap on and attach it to these probes, so you've got basically 8, 6 or 4 cylinder, and then you can see the sparks jumping across here, which will be quite nice when it's animated and you're seeing the sparks work. What did surprise me is that when I plugged it in, there's a big heavy motor in the back here, and I've checked the date on it. So this was made in 1962. And if there's anybody out there that knows this particular, funny enough, it was made in Vienna, strangely enough. And I'm going to try and look up the company and see what they're doing now, if they're still around. But it's Siegel Duplex 500S. And according to this, there's a mark on the back, and it says number 148. I don't know if that's the 148th they made, whatever, but it's from 62. And it also has a pulley on the side here, which spins, and I think that must go on to, would be a belt driven, and maybe this goes on to a dynamo, would have been a dynamo then, or an alternator, so you can check the alternator, and that's probably why the battery's there, to make the continuity. I'm not too sure about it, but I'll turn it on and show you it running. And it's got different speeds. Six volt, 12 volt. It seems to run beautifully. No problems at all. So, and I guess this must, as I say, this must be to drive something off it, and then the idea of the battery connections in there would be so you can see if this charging system. For me, it's more the memorabilia than anything else. I've managed to get this thing working as well, and I think this is what this is for. When you open this, it's solid, and when you close it, you can. So that would give you enough to taunt the belt, to make the belt taunt to drive it. So you can put it in a certain position and then lock it off. So, but it actually works. I'm quite amazed. Unfortunately, because it was so heavy, and it always seems to happen when I'm on my own, when Amir's not here, and I found it very difficult to lift it, because I said it was so top heavy and the bottom was getting away from me. So I had to try it with jacks and this table and so on, and unfortunately I've done a little bit of damage. I should have waited, but you know. And what I've done is I've broken the back, well, not broken, but I've damaged the back of here where the louvers are to let the air go through. But I can straighten that up and fix it. And unfortunately, one of the original gauges got damaged from the vacuum on the side, but I can get it out. Fortunately, it's just snapped. So yeah, that's what I've been up to today. Mostly this. I haven't been able to get on with this seat cum little tool trolley for working at lower points near the floor. And because I'm getting older, I can't you know, bend down. Well, I can bend down, of course, but not for long periods of time. And so if I can sit in a better position, it's much easier for me. So it's a little tool that might come in handy. It'll only take an hour to make it up, but I'll do it in the morning. So I just wanted to bring you an update and show you what we've got. And like I say, it's quite a. I'll just take this plug out, and you can see here in the back, when I turn it round, that they've got this motor system. I'll bring it in, and hopefully you can. Is it that way or that way? I always get these mixed up. I've got that in the right position. Yeah, there we go. Let me Just bring that down a bit so you can see it. Now maybe somebody like Martin from Retro Restore can tell me what the story is with this. I mean, it says 1962 on that label, but it's got a thing here which is going on to the, I think it's called the commutator. I'm not very good with electrics, but you can change the angle on it so it goes, it's got like a gear on it, but you can change what position it's in. I don't know what that would actually do. If anybody could tell me what that does. As I said, I'm not very good with electrics. Martin will know because he's an ex-Sparky. Well, he still is a Sparky, of course. But you can see it there. Hopefully you can see it moving. It seems to turn it round. It's halfway around the radius of it. So, yeah. Anyway. So, yeah. That's what we've been up to today. And as I say, I'm well impressed that it actually runs. It's just amazing, because you know, there was, you can see where it unfortunately came off the buggy, and I will tidy it up a little bit and get some just tidy it and clean it. It's obviously been lying for many years, but it's unbelievable that it still runs, and I just love stuff like this. Anyway, so take care. Thanks for watching, and I hope it hasn't been too boring, but as I say, this to me just it tickles my fancy. I just love old stuff like this. So as I say, take care, stay safe, keep the faith, and enjoy your hobby, whatever it does, whatever it is, whether it's restoring cars or getting stuff like this, or just doing things, just making things and doing things. So take care and bye for now. Bye.